people would think that's his character.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I think that is probably the most damaging, at least to him. And Tim Brown is not only salty about that, but uh, Hall of Fame and all that.
Oh yeah,
You
most
know,
definitely.
he's
He's
salty
mad.
about stuff like that.
He's mad
That
about a lot of things.
that should have definitely taken place so far. Tim Brown being in the Hall of Fame. That was two good questions. Next time we have to let the tall lady get in on one. Maybe replace the bad producer in his question.
He can't place me. I'm winning. Charlie Sheen winning.
We're going to go to break. When we come back, I think my man Doug Fireball Turnbull is going to be on the line. Football over, Fireball. NASCAR, start the engine, baby. We'll be back right after this.
Don't go away. More of the Sports Joc Show with Wayne Gandy is coming up next.
Honey, I'm home. I've got a surprise for you.
Get that filthy, disgusting tire out of my living room. You're on my favorite rug.
Calm down. You're going to love this.
What? The goldfish bowl.
I won't run over them. Relax.
You roll that tire right back out of here.
Relax. It's all part of my master plan to save us money.
This is not going to be our coffee table. Don't even think about putting a piece of glass on top.
No, honey. This is a reminder to keep our tires properly inflated so we can save money on gas.
Can't we just tie a string around our fingers?
Sweetie, properly inflated tires could save us more money at the pump than a week's worth of gas.
You're getting tire tracks on my love seat.
Exactly. To remind us that we love saving gas with properly inflated tires.
What's wrong with the sticky note on the dashboard?
Discover smarter ways to save hundreds of dollars on gas and help the environment, too, at the Alliance to Save Energy's website, drivesmarterchallenge.org.
Hey, let's put the sticky note on the tire.
Hi, we're talking to real smokers about quitting. Tell me when you smoke and why you smoke.
Eat, cigarette, kids, cigarette, dinner, another cigarette,
One on my way to lunch, one after lunch.
and another cigarette, and another cigarette.
Have you tried to quit?
Yes, I become angry.
It ain't that easy. You can't just quit cold turkey. I tried.
What would you do different?
Actually having a plan and thinking it through.
You have to relearn how to live your life without a cigarette in your hand.
With the right plan, you can quit smoking. Free at becomeanx.org. X, a new way to think about quitting. Brought to you by X and the Ad Council.
I'm Ed Smart, father of a child who was abducted.
I'm John Walsh. Like Ed, I also know the terror of having a child who was kidnapped. But now we have wonderful technology to aid in this battle.
It's called the Amber Alert. It's an early notification system to the public when every second counts.
Amber Alert is a partnership. We want to thank you, the public, broadcasters, transportation, and law enforcement. Amber Alert really works.
And now, back to the Sports Joc, Wayne Gandy.
What's that on that beat? I'm different, yeah, I'm different. I'm different, yeah, I'm different. I'm different, yeah, I'm different. Pull up to the scene with my ceiling missing. Pull up to the scene with my ceiling missing.
Welcome back to the Sports Joc Show. I'm the Sports Joc, Wayne Gandy. The Super Bowl is in the books, which means that the cars get to start racing and NASCAR. In about 2 weeks, NASCAR will have their version of the Super Bowl. They call it the Daytona 500. And if you follow the Sports Joc Show, you know when we want to talk NASCAR, we only reach out to one man. We only have one man inked in the books. His name is Doug Fireball Turnbull. Fireball, I hear you've been hanging out with Brad Keselowski, y'all doing the strip club cheetah circuit. What is going on, Fireball?
Man, that's how we start out. All right, you know that. No, I don't believe I've been to any extracurricular activities of that sort with Brad Keselowski. I did though, and I think we talked about it months ago. I did back in April when he was in Atlanta. Get to hang out for a while with him at CNN Center and have lunch. He's a cool guy and a great champion of the sport. But I don't believe I've been to. He hasn't invited me to any clubs with him. I don't think that's the kind I go to anyway. But more power to him if he does.
That's what the bad producer wrote down. I knew he was wrong. I told him. I said, man, that wouldn't be
that's
Fireball.
That's why he needs to stay on that side of the glass, all right?
Well, Fireball, let's start off with this before we get into Daytona. Tell us about Timothy Tyler Andrew Walker. He might not be able to race in NASCAR, but he started a chase in Nevada and ended up in Utah. Tell us about this young man.
Well, the particulars of that particular story, I don't know every single detail. I know that he ended up, evading cops and then getting arrested, and drugs were involved with that. And unfortunately for Tyler Walker, he was a talented driver that was coming up through the sport in the mid-2000s, like say around 2005, 2006. And he had a pretty good ride in NASCAR, and that all went away because he got busted with drugs. And he managed to make a comeback about a year or so later, and then got busted with drugs again. And he hasn't been heard from in the sport ever since. And so I'm guessing whatever went down with him that took him out of NASCAR is similar to what took him out and got him in trouble with the cops. So he was not a driver of any particular renown. And once he got to NASCAR, he didn't win any races or anything like that. But he's certainly someone that people in racing circles know of. And much like some of the other drivers that have gotten busted and not completed NASCAR's Road to Recovery program, he's had second trouble. There's been other drivers that we've talked about, Aaron Pike and Shane Meal, just to name two of them, that have had recurring problems because they didn't complete the NASCAR Road to Recovery program. And some have been able to, in both cases of Aaron Pike and Shane Meal, they've been able to recover, but they're not going to be racing NASCAR anytime soon.
Is he still eligible to get back into NASCAR, or is his career over on the circuit?
Well, I mean, he hasn't. I don't think he's raced. I looked up his stats after that arrest happened. And I don't think he's raced in NASCAR since 2007 or so. So I don't think he was trying to get back in. Now, I don't think NASCAR, on the other hand, has released anything that says he's banned for life. If he takes the proper steps, just like Jeremy Mayfield, if he took the proper steps, he's probably the biggest name that's ever been busted in NASCAR's drug program. But if they take the proper steps, NASCAR will put it back in. Now, Shane Neal, who I mentioned a second ago, actually received a lifetime ban because he failed, several tests and never made any attempt to get back into it. So but Shane Neal got in a bad crash in a different kind of racing later on after that, after he'd already recovered from the drug thing, and it is paralyzed. So he's not a racer anymore, and I don't think Tyler Walker is going to be seen in any kind of racing circles anytime either.
Well, we know about Joe Gibbs Racing. Tell us about Bill Romanowski Racing. I see that he has gotten into the NASCAR scene.
Bill Romanowski has signed on with this team that's called Swan Racing. And Swan Racing bought a team called Inception Motorsports, which was a bottom-level, low-budget NASCAR team that raced in the Cup Series and generally did what we've talked about on the show before, something called start and parking, where they didn't have enough money to keep the materials up to run a whole race, and so they'd stretch their equipment out and only run a few laps at each race and finish and then get the same money they'd get for finishing last and running all the laps. So Inception Motorsports bought by Swan Racing, and they brought on Bill Romanowski as a minority owner in Swan Racing, a team that's going to field this number 30 that is going to run all of the races. And Romanowski is a minority owner because he's got some sort of product that's associated with his jersey number. I forget what it's called, but that's going to be a sponsor on the car for some of the races. So I think Romanowski is not necessarily involved because he's a huge motorsports freak. I think it's more that he wants to market his product. And we've seen football involvement in NASCAR in the past, and there's a pretty fascinating sporting news article that talks about the different times football players have gotten associated with NASCAR teams. Brett Favre, Dan Marino, or just to name two. Most recently, Randy Moss was a co-owner of a Truck Series team for a few years, but none of those really played out into anything. In fact, the biggest one that's been a success, and it's been a huge success, is Joe Gibbs Racing.
Well, Danica Patrick has a new man. We reported on this last week. In your opinion, how is this Danica Patrick, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. situation going to play out on the track?
I don't think it's going to have any effect on the racing at all. There was a couple, two drivers you haven't heard of, but it was a male-female driver, Elton Sawyer and Patty Moyes, who raced against each other, and they were married in the Nationwide, or back then it was called the Busch Series back in the 90s. And, I really think that the only thing that's going to play out is Ricky Stenhouse is a rookie who's, although he's a two-time defending Nationwide Series champion, he's someone who is very, he's done very fine with the media as far as I've been able to see over his few years in NASCAR. He's not used to the spotlight like Danica is, And Danica is a little bit older than he is. She's in her mid-30s, whereas he's in his mid-20s or so, somewhere around there. I think they're about 7, 8, 9 years apart. And, that could be just a distraction to him because it's his first full season in the Sprint Cup Series. What's ironic is it's her first full season in the Sprint Cup Series. They're both running for Rookie of the Year. So they're not only going to be running just against each other in a 43-car field, they are going to be head-to-head in the rookie standings. I don't think anybody's really expected Danica to beat Ricky. He's a better driver in stock cars. I don't think it's going to really play out too much between them. I mean, I think they're just going to be two competitors on the track, and then they're going to be, boyfriend and girlfriend behind the scenes. I will say this. They finally came out with the news that they were dating at the end of the NASCAR media tour. The tour ended on Thursday a week and a half ago, and Friday that news came out. Mm-hmm. But a lot of people had suspected they were either made jokes about it or seriously thought they were dating for a long time, even when Danica was still married. But as soon as her divorce became final, then they come out and say they were dating. So there's a little bit of overlap there, but really that's none of our business. And hopefully, I'm really hoping the media behaves itself this year and talks about racing more than talks about her private life, but I doubt that's going to happen.
Well, if she get out of that car and throw that helmet at him, I'm thinking it's more than just racing.
Danica, I want to tell you something about Danica Patrick. I know you probably got to go, but she gets a lot of criticism for things, but she knows how to play the media, and she has very few unthought-out moments. And when she went out and pointed at her race car last year, she knew exactly what she was doing when Regan Smith wrecked her. She pointed his finger. She decided not to point her middle finger. She did something she knew she'd be remembered for. And I think Danica, if they ended up making contact on the racetrack, I don't think you're going to see them running after each other and doing, because she knows that'll be too big of a story. I think she'll know exactly how to play with it, and I think Ricky Stenhouse is going to receive some intense coaching from his PR people too on exactly how to handle questions and any other thing that the media turns up about them.
Hey, Doug, Conway Twitty, big question of the year. My man, Dale Earnhardt Jr., 13 races, he's going to be unsponsored.
Yes, sir.
How can the fans' favorite not have a sponsor for 13 races?
That initially you sit there and go, are you serious? Are you serious? Dale Jr. does not have. But here's the deal. Rick Hendrick, who owns that team, Rick Hendrick is not going to sell. He's waiting. He's holding out for the most money he can get. All right, let's just be real. I don't think there's anybody that thinks that they haven't had inquiry after inquiry of people with millions of dollars wanting to put their name on Dale Jr.'s car and have him represent their product. But Rick Hendrick's not going to say yes to the first bidder. It's like an auction. He knows that he has a big carrot there in Dale Earnhardt Jr., and although it's extremely surprising that they wouldn't have this finalized months and months ago, that they'll have it. And Rick Hendricks can afford to leave the car unsponsored if he decides that he's going to get lowball estimates from people, because he could just put his own sponsor, HendrickCars.com. He's a big car dealer, HendrickCars.com on there, and then write off the advertising on his taxes, because it's worth it to him to hold out and get the big money. So don't worry about it. There will not be a blank number 88 out there. And by the way, PETA is among all of the people that have asked Dale Jr. to put their name on his car.
Really?
And that was just a pub. Yeah,
but he hunts. He's a hunter. We can't do that.
I think he was gambling against Michael Vick.
Stunt, because look, we're talking about it right now. So that's the thing. If they did it, everybody would talk about it, and they got their message out there. So that's what PETA does, and holding out for big sponsorship money is what Hendrick and Dale Jr. will do too.
Well, Fireball, we'll hit you up next week and get your predictions on the Daytona 500 and see how that's going to play out.
I want to point out, twice in the last 3 years, we talked about the Super Bowl, power going out. Twice in the last 3 years, the Daytona 500 has been delayed. In 2010, by a pothole, and in 2012, as you know, with the big jet dryer fire when Montoya's car hit it. So ESPN left those out of their little segment about sports stoppages. So I just want to throw that out there that NASCAR's had two of the biggest sports stoppages in history, and they've happened in the last 3 years.
Well, Doug, tell the people where they can reach out and hear you and find you at.
For sure. I'm on 95.5 FM, AM 750 WSB as a traffic reporter in Atlanta. My blog about racing is on WSBRadio.com. And starting next week, it's going to be on GoPRN.com as well, Performance Racing Network. And you can hit me up on Twitter at Doug Turnbull, TURNBULL.
Fireball Turnbull. Thank you for calling in, Doug. We'll be back with more of the Sports Joc Show right after this. 888-926-7562. Birthdays coming up. You awake over there, tall lady?
Nah, she's asleep.
Okay, I got a Red Bull in my bag now. We'll be right back with more of the Sports Joc Show.
5-hour energy.
Don't go away. More of the Sports Joc Show with Wayne Gandy is coming up next.
The Sports Joc Show is giving you a chance to win and win big.
We're giving away an Apple iPad.
Plus an invite for you and 3 of your friends to come down to the studio and enjoy a live show. And all you've got to do is wake up with a Sports Joc.
Good morning. It's Monday. We have a great show for you today.
Visit thesportsjoc.com and click on the Remind Me app. Each Monday, the Sports Joc will call you to remind you to listen to the show.
Every time you pick up the phone,
your number is entered into a drawing to win the free iPad. One lucky winner will win the iPad, plus an invite for you and 3 of your friends to come and sit in on a live show. Because it's a well-known fact, you haven't heard the Sports Joc Show until you've seen it live. We'll announce the winner March 4th, so log on, sign up with the Sports Joc wake-up call, download the app, and win an iPad. Go to thesportsjoc.com and click on Remind Me. Good luck from the Sports Joc Show with Wayne Gandy.
So, Jacqueline.
Yes, Mom?
I wanted to talk to you about something, and... Oh, wait. Hold on. I just got a text. Oh, there's another one. Wow. Busy, busy me. So, anyway...
Oh, wait, Mom. I just got a message. My friends keep commenting on my comment. Oh, there's another one. So many comments on my comment.
Oh, I can't wait to watch TV tonight. Playoffs!
Hey, guys, check out my new video game. Wait. Mom, what? Huh?
What?
What'd you say? Wait a second, what?
This weekend, unplug. Take your family to the forest. There's nothing in the world like experiencing nature firsthand. Trees, paths, bluebirds, streams. Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. To find the forest nearest you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
And now, back to the Sports Joc, Wayne Gandy.
Welcome back to the Sports Joc Show. I'm the Sports Joc Wayne Gandy. It's the birthday segment of our show. Lots of birthdays over the last 7 days. First of all, we'd like to thank Doug Fireball Turnbull for calling in. Always informative. Dale Earnhardt Jr., 13 races unsponsored. I was trying to figure out, so there's nothing going to be on the car?
There's nothing going to be.
It's going to be 8-8 on a black car.
Hey, you remember in Ricky Bobby when he put the Cougar on the car?
Right.
Oh,
and
wow.
he didn't have a sponsor.
Yeah.
So, he can put something on whatever he want to. But, I mean, hey, like he said, I understand holding out because Dale Jr. is the most popular driver. And whoever lands him, he's had Budweiser and then Mountain Dew and Pepsi and that AMP. And that AMP energy drink didn't do too good. And National Guard and Security, National Guard and Army was sponsoring. Now, like I said, he's, whoever gets him.
Yeah, they're going to get a big fish.
That's
the biggest fish in the ocean.
The Sports Joc
And
Show.
I feel bad, though. He does, and Kyle Busch races more like his daddy than he does.
How many events does Dale Earnhardt race in a year, you think?
Every year. It's not like golf. These guys, every race they're running.
Right.
Unless they're hurt. Last year we had a guy, had a guy with a concussion, and he didn't run because of the concussion thing, and they ruled him out. But most of the time, they're there every week.
Okay. All right. Well, we got some birthdays of the last 7 days. Some familiar names to a lot of us. Actor, Mr. Hawaii himself, Tom Selleck. 68 years old. That's a great facelift that Tom got. He should thank that facelift doctor for that. 68 years old.
Magnum P.
The good producer's best friend, Paul Ryan. 43 years old. Adam Lambert, 31. Great actor. Great actor. Gene Hackman, 83 years old.
Oh,
Gene
great guy.
Hackman.
You're right.
Great actor. The good producer's stepfather, Dick Cheney,
Mm.
72
That
years
might be
old.
his real dad.
It might,
be his real daddy.
It might be his real daddy.
Wilma Valderrama, 33 years old. Justin Timberlake, bringing sexy back.
Yes.
32 years old.
You know he got married.
Major League. Yeah,
To that fine.
Yeah. Major League Baseball great Ernie Banks, 82. We said Donald Driver is retiring. He had his 38th birthday last week.
I was going to ask you about that. There was rumors that he might go to Minnesota, might try to do the Favre thing.
No, he did the best thing, just retire and get home. Okay. Yeah, it's over. Sometimes the light is over.
I just want to make sure.
Talking about a great receiver, Julio Jones had his 24th birthday. One more year, Julio, and we got to, one more year, baby. Next year is our year here in Atlanta. Fran Tarkenton, 73 years old. The grandfather of the good producer, Dan Quayle.
Read
my his 65th.
That's like a close uncle, I think. It is a close uncle.
At his 65th birthday last week. Charlie Wilson, 60. I think you're lying, Charlie. You're at least 64. Heather Graham, 43 years old. Christian Bale, 39. Jalen Rhodes, the Fab Five, 40 years old.
Hey, did you see where Jalen, they called him out wearing the fake Gucci, the Fugazi?
When on the show?
He was on the show with somebody, and they called him out for wearing the Fugazi Gucci shirt.
Really?
Yeah, he admitted it. He admitted it.
Where you found a fake Gucci shirt at?
Oh, you can get them all day on Auburn Avenue.
As many discount shopping malls.
Well, it was the T-shirt. It was one of them Gucci T-shirts.
The Rock, Charles S. Dutton, 62. Kerry Washington, 36. Minnie Driver, 43. Pauly Shore, 45. Shakira, 36 years old.
Shake a bomb bomb.
Vlade Divac, 45. Oscar De La Hoya, 39, and probably making a comeback. Who knows? Dear Antler is out there. I'm quite sure he might be back. My man Clint Black, 50 years old. Ed Burns, 45. Kid Cudi. Kid Cudi always looked like he was about 48. He's only 29.
Ooh.
But he has that old man face. Jody Watley, 54. Manager Davey Johnson, 70. San Francisco 49er tight end Vernon Davis, 29. Nolan Ryan, 66. Gucci Mane.
Burr.
33 years old. Sean Kingston, 23. Alex Cooper, 64. Big Boy, 38 years old.
All right. Outcast player.
Miss Oprah Winfrey.
Oh, come on now. Oprah got to be in the 60s.
59.
Oh.
She holding down.
She holding down. You hear about that?
It's about her third year.
Did you hear where Tyler Perry broke her back out?
Tyler Perry broke some back?
He broke Oprah's back.
Oh, I thought he liked LeBron.
He sent her a big nice bouquet of flowers, and she tried to pick it up and hurt her back.
Oh, okay. That's broken her back.
Yeah,
it had to be something like that.
He broke her back. Yeah. Oh, you thought? Nah. We know Tyler
And
Perry.
our man Phil Collins. Phil Collins. Every time I think of Phil Collins, I think of Miami Vice. Phil Collins had his 62nd birthday.
Do you hear the drums when you say his name?
Always.
Yeah.
I love that. We're going to come back with that. We're going to come back with that drum breakdown. We'll be back with more of the Sports Joc Show right after this.
More of the Sports Joc Show with Wayne Gandy coming up next.
Hey, over here.
What?
Right here in the back.
Where?
Over by the fence.
You? The bike?
Yeah, the bike. Right in the grass where the kids left me a while ago. You know how lonely it is being left day after day, not being able to cruise the reservation?
Pardon me?
Remember when you got me for the kids? You told them, "No, you kids go have fun, enjoy the outdoors, and be careful."
Yeah?
I really miss it, especially when they put that playing card in my spokes and I made a really cool sound the faster we went. Well, could you get my tires a little air, dust off my seat, and remind the kids how fun I still am?
Okay. Oh, you are dusty.
Yeah, and I may need a couple of bolts tightened too. Now let's go.
As Native American parents and caregivers, our encouragement to healthy lifestyles for our kids is helping them get outside and play. Get ideas, get involved, get going at letsmove.gov/Indian Country. Brought to you by USDA, HHS, and the Ad Council.
And now, back to the Sports Joc, Wayne Gandy.
Welcome back to the Sports Joc Show. I'm the Sports Joc, Wayne Gandy. We want to talk a little Major League Baseball, and one of the partners of the Deer Antler Spray we have on the line, Mr. Todd Harris. He is the man who broke the story about the Deer Antler Spray. No, I'm messing with you. LA Dodger scout Todd Harris is on the line. Todd, good afternoon to you, sir.
Hey, how you doing? Good afternoon, Big Wayne.
Do you have any of that Deer Antler Spray? Go ahead on and fess up, man. We don't have drug tests.
Bro, I may need to go get me some. I ain't gonna lie. Help me out with my workout plan.
Well, let's start. We got to start with the Deer Antler, and when we're talking drugs, we got to talk A-Rod, Alex Rodriguez. They say he was in there under some nickname, Kaku or something. I don't even know how to say it. Cacique.
Yeah.
They said that was his nickname at the drug antler store. Tell us what's going to happen with A-Rod, Todd.
At this point, Wayne, from what I've been gathering information, it's looking like the Yankees are being very, very quiet about this situation. Brian Cashman has just kind of threw out some little information and really not talking about it as much. So when I get the feeling that they're really not talking about it as much, that means a lot's going on. So I think they're trying to find ways to get out of this particular contract what A-Rod has. And I think he's going to be owed about $110 million over the next 5 years. And so they're trying to work ways to try to get out of this particular contract. That's why I think it's been extremely quiet on the Yankees front, just because I think they're trying to make their case so they don't have to deal with this. And does it surprise me? No. As far as with A-Rod, I think A-Rod is going to do any and everything he has to do to try to get a edge up and a leg up as far as any way possible with him. And just going alias, I thought if he did something like that, it would definitely be in the Dominican Republic, in another country, where it's a little easier to cover up some of that stuff than I think it is in the United States. And so at this point, it's kind of been reported. I mean, it's widely reported that he's kind of did this, and the guy from down in Miami has kind of provided these particular drugs and has records of him kind of coming in there and taking these particular drugs. So I think it's just a matter of time when it's all going to come down.
Yeah, A-Rod admitting 4 years ago that he did use PEDs back in 2000 to 2003, as you said, $100 million still on the books, guaranteed, which is going to be hard to move for a man that's coming from hip surgery. And A-Rod is what, like 35 now?
Yeah, 36, 35, 36 years old at this particular point. I think at the end of the contract, he's supposed to have been 41 to 42. So just don't see him making it to the end of that contract. Like, just the fact that he did admit it previously, I thought was a good thing for him, because, I mean, obviously it was widely known that he did it at that particular time, and you would think that he would kind of learn that particular lesson. But I guess a man in his situation is still going to try to do everything possible to play at the level that he's always played at. And for a guy to have a postseason as bad as he did, I think he just felt like he didn't probably have any options but to do that with his body kind of breaking down at this particular point in his career.
Well, Todd, just real quickly so I can know something, I don't know the legal standpoint. Would the Yankees have some kind of, if he failed another drug test, can that void his contract?
Yes, and those are the things that they're actually looking at right now to exactly see how to go forward with this second failed drug test. And part of that particular contract can be voided out. And those are the things that they're kind of talking over. And obviously, when that much money's on the table from both ends, that both of them have got big-time lawyers, and it's going to come through which lawyer can get the better deal to make a settlement in the end. But, yes, most of that money can be voided with this second failed drug test at this particular stage. And like I said, it's all speculation now, but I think it's widely kind of known that this particular thing happened. So.
Hey, Coach Harris, Conway Twitty here, man. Hey, just wanted to ask, as far as with that situation with A-Rod, he had that big contract, and these guys are getting caught, and there's things about the HGH. And you thinking this pressure with getting all this money or making these guys go to the extreme to get their bodies healed or go to try to find something so they can be able to keep that earning or show that they're worthy of the money that they got?
I think it's the number one reason. The one thing about the player of an A-Rod type is their ego. I mean, and the one thing that's got them to the major leagues is their ego. And I think he is not going to accept being average playing in the big leagues. That's just one thing he's not going to do. To me, he'd rather get caught doing something like this than to go out and perform at a low level, making a lot of money in a particular city like New York. So there's no doubt I think it's the pressure of living up to the contract, number one. And number two, he's a big-time athlete, big-time player, and has a humongous ego. I mean, it's just well known that he has one of the biggest egos in professional baseball. And once that ego is in the way and that pride's in the way, I think you would do anything to kind of keep your performance up to the level that you've been used to, accustomed to playing to.
Well, Todd, we have here in Atlanta, we've made a big signing. We now have Ted Upton, Josh Upton, Brad Upton. I think it's two twins named Theodore and Ray Upton. We got all the Upton boys here with the Braves.
We Upton it up.
Yeah. Is B.J. Upton that guy that can get the Braves where we dream of being?
I think a lot of baseball people feel that it wasn't actually a great trade, but I do think at the end, I think it's going to be a good trade for the Atlanta Braves just because I think those guys have really have something to prove. I think they had kind of a down years for both of their standards. And as far as, I mean, these kids were first-round draft picks coming out of Virginia, so they've always been able to play at a high level. I just think the places that they went first, I think a lot of times when it's a lot of pressure to put on you to perform, I think actually them playing together in the same city is really going to help their numbers off. Now they can kind of bounce ideas off each other. It's a comfort level as far as them knowing each other's game and knowing each other's weaknesses. So I think when you grew up with your younger or your older brother, it's a little easier for you to go to them and say, hey, you're struggling with this and that, rather than hearing it from a batting coach or some things like that. So I just think the comfort level, I just think their numbers are just going to jump back up to the numbers that we think they can kind of perform at the level that they can perform. I think it's a great move for the Atlanta Braves. I'm just going to be honest. I'm going to probably go see a lot more games just because of those three guys that are going to be in the outfield. So I'm excited about that.
Well, Todd Harris, LA Dodger scout, we can't wait to see the Uptons. And take me to a game, man. It's okay.
Oh,
I know you get them free tickets.
You got it. I got you there, big dog.
Okay. Todd Harris, LA Dodger scout. We'll be back with more of the Sports Joc Show. Thank you, Todd. Right after this.
All right, big one.
The Sports Joc Show is giving you a chance to win and win big.
We're giving away an Apple iPad.
Plus an invite for you and 3 of your friends to come down to the studio and enjoy a live show. And all you've got to do is wake up with a Sports Joc.
Good morning. It's Monday. We have a great show for you today.
Visit thesportsjoc.com and click on the Remind Me app. Each Monday, the Sports Joc will call you to remind you to listen to the show.
Every time you pick up the phone,
your number is entered into a drawing to win the free iPad. One lucky winner will win the iPad, plus an invite for you and 3 of your friends to come and sit in on a live show. Because it's a well-known fact, you haven't heard the Sports Joc Show until you've seen it live. We'll announce the winner March 4th, so log on, sign up with the Sports Joc wake-up call, download the app, and win an iPad. Go to thesportsjoc.com and click on Remind Me. Good luck from the Sports Joc Show with Wayne Gandy.
Hi, this is Charlie Wilson on the Sports Joc Show with Wayne Gandy.
Lipstick, junkie, debunky, all in one. She came back wearing a smile.
Welcome back to the Sports Joc Show. I'm the Sports Joc Wayne Gandy. Thank you, Todd Harris, for calling in. LA Dodgers scout. As Twitty said, Coach Harris. West Cobb?
East Cobb. He coaches out there with the East Cobb. That's where like Brian Hayward to Francoeur to McCann. These people, there's a lot of Major League ball players, not only from the state of Georgia. Parents have moved them here to be in that area, in that region, even with high school baseball, but just in that East Cobb, because that's where they come to see you.
Okay. Yesterday, at the beginning of the game, the 2013 class of Hall of Fame inductees was announced. It was funny after Ogden. Did you see that when the game started?
Yeah.
And the crowd, Jonathan Ogden, the O-lineman for Baltimore, crowd gives him a roaring clap for, well, first of all, let's give them a clap, the inductees, before I even call their names out.
Can we boo if someone who I think this?
Well, yeah, you always have the option of booing.
Okay.
But first of all, Warren Sapp.
Boo.
Got in. I don't think Warren was a first ballot Hall of Fame. I played against Warren. I do believe that he deserves to get in the Hall of Fame. First ballot.
He was on that team with the playbook against Oakland in the Super
Bowl. Legendary receiver Chris Carter finally got in. I did text Chris, congratulations. He should have been in at least 5 years ago.
Yes.
I don't know why it took this long. I knew
his background.
He wasn't the first ballot, but I know those first couple of years, as he will always tell you, he was a true cokehead.
Yeah.
But he did turn his career around once he left the Eagles and had a stellar Hall of Fame career, as you can see. Larry Allen, offensive guard for the Dallas Cowboys. My man, Larry. Me and Larry is in the same draft class. Well-deserved. Really brought notoriety to what we do up front as offensive linemen, that our impact really sways the game in ways that regular people really don't understand. You get you a good offensive line together, we can do a whole lot of things.
Oh, yeah.
On a football field. You just don't know how that makes average quarterbacks look even great. Looking at Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah.
Part of his maturity and his growth, even Russell Wilson. These guys play behind great offensive lines, and it gives them that time, and they don't get all that pressure, so they can perform a little better. They don't have to be under duress. Go ask David Carr how it is to run around without an O-line.
The last few years, Michael Vick.
Yeah, you'd be in the hospital every other week trying to get healthy. As we said, Coach Bill Parcells, he also was inducted. I think we all knew at some point Bill was going to get in. This was delayed because Bill kept going back. For all you people that were trying to figure out why Bill just going, because Bill would retire, After about 2 years, he'd go take some other job. He'd take it for a year, then retire and get another job. So finally, he's been out long enough, which is 5 years, to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. They did have 2 senior members, Curly Cup and Dave Robinson. One of these 2 gentlemen, I couldn't figure out which one went behind in the introductions, Jonathan Ogden. And you can hear him on tape like, man, I ain't getting nothing. You know, they went from to Dave Robinson.
No, that was funny.
It was like
But Ogden played for the Ravens, so you know that
right.
contingency. Plus, he wasn't he drafted with Ray Lewis also in the same year Ray Lewis.
I think so. 96, back in 96, they both was drafted. Some notable names that I think we thought might get in this year. First of all, y'all need to stop it. I don't know whose wife Charles Haley slept with, but let the man in the Hall of Fame. The man is a Hall of Fame player. We all know this. I don't understand. Unless it's some secret society.
Yeah.
This man used to make us fear him. He was that kind of player. I'm trying to tell you, hey, man, I hope Charles wake up sick this morning so I can beat his head in, because he used to be a menace out there. He's a Hall of Fame player. Let him in. The conspiracy theorists say since the Super Bowl is in New York next year, they're holding Michael Strahan. I don't think that's why they're holding him. I don't think that Michael Strahan is a first ballot Hall of Famer. I do think that he is a Hall of Famer. I think his Super Bowls give him that credibility. I think his sack record. But there was a lull in Michael Strahan's career. A lot of y'all kind of saw the back end, but it was 3 or 4 years Michael Strahan was invisible. He was out there, but those early years he was truly invisible. And my man Jerome Bettis, it was Marshall Faulk, and it was Curtis Martin. I don't know what are you holding this man out of the Hall of Fame for. He was impactful. He won a Super Bowl. He played for 12 years, which shows longevity. And he was doing this really as a fullback. So when you look at his stats, it's really more in a fullback mode that he was putting all these yards up, because he was never a blazer.
Never.
When he was
bruiser. Hey, but
he was a true bruising running back.
Do you think that the people that are in the Hall of Fame should start being the ones who vote?
Yeah, I think it needs to be more player influence in all voting in all sports than these news writers. We'll be right back with more of the Sports Joc Show right after this.
The Sports Joc Show is giving you a chance to win, and win big.
We're giving away an Apple iPad.
Plus an invite for you and 3 of your friends to come down to the studio and enjoy a live show. And all you've got to do is wake up with a Sports Joc.
Good morning. It's Monday. We have a great show for you today.
Visit thesportsjoc.com and click on the Remind Me app. Each Monday, the Sports Joc will call you to remind you to listen to the show.
Every time you pick up the phone,
your number is entered into a drawing to win the free iPad. One lucky winner will win the iPad, plus an invite for you and 3 of your friends to come and sit in on a live show. Because it's a well-known fact, you haven't heard the Sports Joc Show until you've seen it live. We'll announce the winner March 4th, so log on, sign up with the Sports Joc wake-up call, download the app, and win an iPad. Go to thesportsjoc.com and click on Remind Me. Good luck from the Sports Joc Show with Wayne Gandy.
Yeah. And now, back to the Sports Joc, Wayne Gandy.
The truth is, he will throw your ass in the ocean. It's time to wrap things up on the Sports Joc Show with Wayne Gandy.
Welcome back to the Sports Joc Show. I'm the Sports Joc Wayne Gandy, and when you hear the sounds of the ocean, it means that the Sports Joc show is coming to its end. Great show. Whenever I can sit here and don't feel like I've been sitting here for 9 hours, it's a great show. Maybe I should pass the collection plate around one more time so we can get some money on this. But the Sports Joc Show, first and foremost, would like to thank his Fireball Turnbull, Doug, for calling in. He think he's Hollywood now, hanging out with Brad Keselowski. He'll be running around the track like Ricky Bobby in a minute. Todd Harris, Major League Baseball scout for the Dodgers. Thank you for calling in, Todd. Always great to talk to you. I will take you up on that seat at the game, but don't have me up in the 300 section until I get my deer antler spray so I can have some good knees to get up there. It's the ocean, so it's time to, anybody else we need to? Those are the only two people, correct?
No, that's only two days.
Oh, Big Kenny. Shout out to Big Kenny for calling in on the Skype
ride.
on the crack bus.
They was jamming on the bus. Did you notice that when we was talking?
Man, listen, that looked like one of them state penitentiary buses.
Transferring prisoners.
Transfer parents, but I don't know.
Might have been a parole weekend.
For you Californians out there, watch out. They say by early 2014, the Hispanic population will be taking over. It'll be more Hispanics in the state of California. But I think if I remember my history, they used to own California anyway. Am I wrong? Maybe
that is correct. The whole bottom half there.
They used to own it, so that's no surprise. What else did I have an issue with before I get around to the true ocean? Frito-Lay. Y'all coming out with a new Dorito. Taco Bell flavor? What is Taco Bell flavor?
You haven't had those Taco Bell Doritos?
I don't even know what are you saying? That everything at Taco Bell tastes the same? What is Taco Bell flavor? How do you make something like McDonald's flavor? What would that be?
You hadn't had the Taco Bell Doritos?
No, they talking about a Taco Bell flavor. I don't know what that means. Flavor? What is the flavor? The Taco Bell flavor?
Spices and tomatoes and whatever that meat they use.
Isn't that just regular?
The main flavor.
You know, some of that roadkill.
the main ingredients, I guess.
So what is that? I want to send a shout out to the people in Chicago. Stop it, man. Y'all, I mean, isn't it cold? How did y'all murder 46 people in the month of January in blizzard temperatures? I thought killing was a summertime event.
Oh, you snowed in?
How do you kill snowed in?
You snowed in, you kill him, you put the body under the snow. Don't find them till spring. They weren't supposed to find out about these until spring, probably.
Yeah, that's
what they're supposed to take them out.
That episode of The Wire. You remember? They put the bodies, found the bodies later.
I didn't watch a lot of The Wire.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
I didn't watch a lot of The Wire.
I'm insulted.
Also, what else do we have? From the Sports Joc Show to Nick Van Exel, we would like to really say, hang in there, bruh. I know, Nick, I know this is a tough time for you. That's a lot of time, and I know what's going through your mind. I couldn't imagine that for my child. For most of you who forgot the story, Nick Van Exel, son, accidentally, I do believe you accidentally shot the kid messing around with the gun. But in a court of law, when you move that body to the lake, it stopped being an accident and started being trying to cover up a murder. That was 2 years ago. They did sentence Nicky Van Exel Friday to 60 years in prison. He's only 22 years old. I don't know how Texas works, but most states is
well, they said about 30 years.
You have to do at least half of that. Yeah. So he's 22, 52. That's basically a lifetime in prison. So our hearts from our show to Nick Van Exel, who's a good guy. Mm-hmm. So it ain't always that it's bad people raising bad children. Sometimes good people raise children that just make mistakes. Yes. And go out and do some craziness. It was. I really believe that it was an accident. In my heart, I think, but he in that panic mode or whatever, when he went and put that body in that car and drove it to that lake and tried to cover it up, it did signal to all the rest of us that it was murder.
Yeah.
So sad, tragic ending, 60 years in prison. What a waste of life, the possibilities, and I'm quite sure Nick is choked up right now. But we are in the ocean, and the ocean is always a time for the sports jock to vent and cast somebody away. But today, in the good spirit of the Super Bowl, I'm in a rescue mission. And I'm going to rescue the legendary Dan Marino. Dan, I know they beating you up, bruh, but I'm here. The Sports Joc Show is here for you. I understand your pain. You've been married 30 years. That little young tender was walking around set in that pencil skirt. You had been married all them years. You couldn't fight the Matrix anymore. You lost some weight. You still got all your hair. And she came over there like, Mr. Marino, I used to love watching you when I was sitting in my dad's lap. And you thought, man, she makes me feel young again. And we all know us men, we all like to feel young and appreciated. Nagging wife at home. I'm with you, Dan. Now, you didn't have to take 7 years to confess the truth. That's the statute of limitations. But I'm with you. You needed your little young piece at CBS. It was cold. So come on aboard the ship with the Sports Joc. Me, Rob Gronkowski, a lot of us just hanging out here. All right? Dan Marino. From the Sports Joc Show, the tall lady, Big Kenny. I'll send that bond money. Bad producer, you did pretty decent today.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
I got to work on your wardrobe.
Oh.
But you did all right. Sports Joc Show, we'll be back next Monday, 10 o'clock in the morning. You have a good afternoon.
You make me wanna shout. Girl, you look sweet tonight.